Yes, people, we are live. Welcome back to AIM Sports for the pole position pod. We're going to review the Azerbaijan Grand Prix that happened yesterday. Max Verstappen has yet again won another race. The inevitable Augustia has happened. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you. Thank you for calling me inevitable, Ekavin. I appreciate it.
I
But
tell you the inevitable has happened, but how are
but
you
yeah,
doing? But
100%. No surprise whatsoever. Max winning yesterday is as predictable as the color of the sky. That's what it is. It was almost a foregone conclusion.
there's the guy.
I don't know, Ekavin. You tell me. I need some glasses. But yeah, Max winning yesterday, no surprises whatsoever. I think we all in unanimity predicted that. Correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Mm,
Ran King.
No, I think he predicted Piastri to finish first. McLaren won too. He predicted McLaren won too.
I said
Piastri first, and Norris second.
I said
I,
George Russell too.
I had two predictions. I had a crazy one and a real one.
Go on, King. Go on, King.
But yeah,
Unleash your predictions, my G. Unleash your predictions, bro.
I think Ekavin wants some receipts.
I don't know what my predictions are, to be honest. I just say things. I'll be honest with you. For me, was Max good? Yes. Was he very lucky that he had poor cars behind him? Yes. Was that race boring? Yes. What can I say? As Lando Norris's number one hater, and a champion of the Oscar Piastri winning the world title. Oscar did the one thing that we didn't expect. He crashed out in the first lap, and Lando Norris didn't capitalize on it. And that's gonna be a big thing, because when Lando Norris had his DNF, Piastri won the race. But when Piastri gets his DNF, Lando Norris is behind Yuki Tsunoda in 7th. That's the difference. He only gained 6 points on him, and that's not enough. And yeah, I'm declaring it today. The race for the World Championship is over. Oscar's won it. I don't think Lando can catch him. And do I think Max can go perfect to catch him? No, because I think there's going to be races very soon that Max isn't going to do well in. His car is suited to the last two tracks. That's why he won, because his car's quick in straight line speed. You saw it with Yuki Tsunoda as well. But when it comes to tracks that are going to have a lot more corners, going to be a lot more about what the McLaren's better at, you're not going to see Max anywhere near the top 3, unfortunately, for him. Unless they miraculously decide to add extra upgrades to that car, which for me would be a waste of money and time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, man, World Championship is done. Just, love
he's
it.
one win away and one Piastri DNF away from equaling. So let me just say this right now: it's not done.
Equaling what? Who?
Lando. Equaling Piastri.
We've shown again and again when it's time for him to win, he ain't gonna win.
Exactly 25 behind. That's it. He's exactly 25 behind now.
Well, no, King, that's not a factually correct statement. While I agree with you throughout the season, Lando Norris has been more of a butler than not. He has won at all the toughest circuits. He won in Monaco, toughest circuit out there. Baku was the only one that he didn't win in. And also last season, he was the sole reason McLaren won the Constructors. So Lando can absolutely do it when there is pressure. It's just this is uncharted pressure for both drivers. And that's the reason Piastri today, at the first opportunity of not just closing the Constructors, because that's not the reason, but when he is holding serve, when the championship is on his serve, he can basically consolidate by just holding his own performance. He'd win the championship, and he folded. And this was completely uncharacteristic. This was Oscar Piastri's first, I think, worst weekend in Formula One by far. Made a mistake in quali. Made two awful, not even rookie mistakes, but amateurish mistakes.
He didn't complete it all. Even he didn't complete quali, didn't complete the race. Lost on lap 1.
It's not even that, Ekavin. He crashed in quali. Okay, that's not a championship. That's not a championship drive. He had a false start, which is also very uncharacteristic for any Formula One driver, let alone your title favorite. Then
Yeah.
he crashed right out on that lap as well. So it was 100% a byproduct of pressure. Can't be anything else but pressure. And pressure does things to your concentration and confidence as well. So I have no doubt that Oscar Piastri can rebound King, but you can't say that, either's confidence is necessarily robust.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know what it is? I think we got too overconfident with our predictions at times because we predicted that we would have how many race exits? We thought McLaren would have double DNF. We thought that Ferrari would have, but Charles Leclerc crashed out. Didn't he crash out? No, sorry, did he? I don't remember.
In qualifying, he crashed out.
He crashed out, right? And then we had one DNF the whole race. We said we'd have 5 or 6 at least DNFs. We only had 1, which we were all proven wrong completely because we all thought that it would be heavy. It'd be rainfall. It would be at least a couple, like, how do you say it, for a few laps, and then it would be clear. But it turns out it didn't rain at all, and the drivers controlled their race very well. I'll be honest with you, they did it very well. Qualifying was an absolute flop, but in terms of the race, they did their job, and only one driver got DNF, so fair play. Like we got too overconfident with that prediction. Like I think the crash outs, we got too confident with that. We got too overconfident with that. You know what I'm trying to say? Because we all said at least 5 or 6 drivers would crash out. I think.
Hey, I said 3. I said 3. I said the lowest. So
I think you made the prediction. I think it's like 5 or 6 drivers would
I said 8.
You said 8, and King, I think you said like what? How many? How many did you say again?
I said 5, but I thought it was gonna rain. It didn't rain.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, like how many like we all expected it's irrelevant now because there's only been one, and that
but
was.
I guess in hindsight it does make sense because during the race drivers are obviously more careful. They're managing their tires. They aren't pushing to the extent they do during qualifying. So technically it does make sense that it was just one. And as King said, we overestimated the weather and also the madness and manicness the drivers would produce.
Yeah, there was a bit of rain in the quali. It was a bit more slippery, a bit more slick. So it was more
lost control
for
the steering wheel though. I think
the wind. The wind was a bit more iffy and erratic during quali, right?
But
yeah.
But I think Charles Leclerc's car locked up in one of the turns. He couldn't turn in time. I think there was one of the turns where his car locked up and he wasn't able to turn. It was that exact same turn Oscar Piastri made his crash. Was it like with turn 3 or 4 that I think that he crashed? If I'm not mistaken.
No, I think it's turn 6 or 7 or something.
Around there.
Because it was late into the first lap.
Oscar Piastri crashed into the exact same barrier he crashed into yesterday. The exact same barrier he crashed into yesterday. I think. Somebody correct me.
Oh yeah, Piastri crashed in qualifying. Oh yeah.
Exact same barrier as he did. The same day he did qualifying.
I don't think so. I think he crashed. Didn't Oscar crash turn 5? No, Oscar crashed later on in the circuit, right?
No, I think he crashed in the exact same barrier. I remember. I recall is the exact same barrier that I think Charles Leclerc even crashed into on qualifying.
It might have been, it might not. I don't remember, but I feel like cold tires. I think for him because he had that false start and the cold tires, it kind of messed him up.
And he stalled, and he fell to 20th, and then everyone had to overlap him, and then his car he couldn't move his car. I mean,
can we have a moment of silence for Fernando Alonso? How tragic is that?
No,
he shot his race in the foot, bro.
Sorry, King. I mean to cut you off there.
What happened with Fernando Alonso? I can't remember.
He also had a false start because he was paying attention to Oscar Piastri's car, which was directly in front of him. Instead of the lights out, he also had a penalty.
Oh man!
Yeah, he got 5-second penalty because he said Piastri was a car directly ahead. He said I was paying attention to car ahead. Yeah, so he jumped the start, then his engine went into anti-stall, and he dropped down to 20th. But yeah, Piastri did not crash into the same exact barrier as qualifying. It's a different one.
Yeah,
crashing in a Louis Vuitton barrier.
Yeah, it was a big mistake from him. It was a big mistake from him. But it is what it is.
He'll be fine. I have no problem. He'll recalibrate. It's a good opportunity for him, just to ground himself.
Yeah, he didn't lose that much. He didn't lose that much. All things considering, he didn't lose that much over the weekend.
But King, can I just jump in real quick on something you were saying at the beginning
Yes.
on Max? And I think you will agree with me, but I'm just expanding on it in case new people are watching. Do I think Max Verstappen can win 7 of the last races? Yes, he can. He's won 10 races in a row before. He nearly won 18 races in a row if it wasn't for Singapore in 2023. So he's won 2, 7 left. He can win 9 in a row. No problem. The problem is, as you said, King, will he have the car for every circuit? I'm not sure there. And the man is not the problem, it's the machinery. And not just that, McLaren are still overall the premier constructor. They still are the fastest constructor. So there will be races where they have a gap that's more than 3-4 tenths to Max. So he just has to be a miracle worker, closest to the Messiah. But if there is anyone in the history of Formula One that can do that, I firmly and truly believe it's him.
Yeah. One second. Big up Max for the raid.
Big up Mike's, bro. Big up to you, man. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Twisted Fate as well.
Yeah, man. Twisted Fate.
Shout out to Mike. Make sure you guys go sub to Mike's channel if you haven't done so already, people. True, proper West Ham fan. Went to the protest on the weekend. Spoke out against his football club, just like the way he's supposed to. Yeah. Big up to Mike's every single time, bruv. Big up to you, man. Keep up the grind, my guy. Sorry, lads. Go on. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, what you said about this is gonna be an opportunity for Piastri to ground himself. No World Championship driving history has had it this easy. 17 races into the season without any flaws, basically, in his character or in his anger or aggression or the words he said. So I think that he just needs to take this as a lesson to really understand the significance of being the Formula One World Drivers' Championship leader and just take it as a lesson to how can I describe this? To get used to this pressure that's on him because he crashed out in qualifying, which he had to make up for in the race, and obviously he didn't. He crashed into the wall, and what Verstappen was flawless yesterday. Yesterday I was watching a race and he didn't pit his hard tires until late, and he swapped them for mediums, and he just kept on eking out the gap between him and Russell. And Verstappen has showed that if there's any driver that can win, what is it, 9 races? No, it's 7 races left in the season, 3 sprint races. If anyone can do this, it's him, him as a driver. But he needs a machinery. Did you see today that Christian Horner got paid £52 million for his severance payout for leaving or being sacked as Red Bull's team principal? I mean, that is a lot of money. I didn't know that much money laying around.
Jose Mourinho levels.
What slander against Michael Schumacher? What slandering him? If anyone in history could do it. To be honest, yeah.
I think I made the claim, didn't I?
Yeah, I think it's a bad claim. I'll be honest with you. He's not the only one.
No, I don't think he's the only one that can do it, but I think I'll correct it. He's the likeliest one that can do that. I just think Max is the best combination of peak pace alongside reliability and durability. That's what he's shown in the last 2 seasons. There's a reason he has the most wins in a row in Formula One. There's a reason he has the most dominant campaign in Formula One as well. So I think Max could absolutely do it. And you don't have that risk that Schumacher and Senna pose of DNFing or being a bit too reckless push come to shove. King, I know you used to call him Max Crashstoppin', but that was more his rookie days, not the days when he's molded to the man that he has become. So I do believe if anyone could do it, today it would be Max. Yesterday would have been Max. Tomorrow it would be Max. So I stick by that. No shade, no hate.
Nah, that's wild. Man said crash.
And with performance, reliability, and stoicism as well. You know, he will always think he's the best. Even if machinery under his feet isn't that good, he will still think, oh, I can eke everything out of this car and I can still make a result happen. And if anyone can do it, it's him. Next race is Singapore. He's never, ever won a race at, and that's where his streak broke of 17 race wins in a row. Carlos Sainz broken. He finished 5th in that race, I think, 5th or 6th. So I think he will try to reverse his bad omen of not winning the race at Singapore and try to put on a show and gain all 25 points. Crashstoppin' was the name that Vettel described him when he came on the grid in 2015.
I mean, to be honest, he's still the same. He crashed into George Russell this season.
What happens to Sebastian Vettel? Max Verstappen has leapfrogged him.
Levels above.
Although I do think Sebastian Vettel today is quite underrated by many newer fans, especially.
Of course.
I wouldn't say levels above. I
winning
think
in that Toro Rosso in 2008.
I would say achievement
Monza.
wise. Yeah, I would say achievement wise, yes. In terms of driver for driver, not that the levels are still there's still a certain level, but in terms of like achievement, you can't argue against Max. He might win his 5th world championship by next year. Like who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but
This
I
year,
think
everything is perfect.
He's
Who knows?
the third. He's the 5th most successful driver in history, or the 4th
Max.
most driver.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
he's
the 4th.
already eclipsed Seb.
Third.
Yeah, because he has the 3rd most race victories, the tied
Yeah.
2nd most championships, right?
Third,
7.
because Fangio's got 5.
Sorry, I apologize. That is also a legend,
No,
a
it's also
timeless
legend.
legend. But
He's
no, I agree with you. And
Austin
Renzo,
Vettel in 4.
Yes, he's still racing. He's racing for Ferrari, bro. He's racing for
well,
Ferrari.
I don't want to be harsh here. I love Lewis Hamilton. I think he's the greatest of all time. But since Abu Dhabi, it almost has been like he's not been racing car, bar a couple moments, because it really has been a large shadow of himself, the past version, especially the McLaren Lewis Hamilton, who I will continue to say, I think McLaren Lewis Hamilton, you could make the case, was peak Hamilton in terms of pace.
Yeah, but that happens to every driver. Even if you look at like Schumacher at his time at McLaren, or was it Mercedes? At Mercedes, he wasn't the same man. That's age beats everyone. Age beats time. Well, age and time beats
sport.
in every sport. And I think that's what happened to Vettel. That's what happened to Hamilton. That's what's the only one that is still probably the same way for a long period of time is Alonso. He's the rookie of the year every year, so he's one of those few that keeps up the levels, I think, for me personally. Yeah. But do I think Max is superior to any of those guys? No. I will say this: two of Max's titles have asterisks on it, and as far as I'm concerned, one of them shouldn't have been his. So if we're taking totality of career and stuff, he ain't on Vettel's level, because Vettel legitimately won 4 in a row, rather than Max, who cheated his way to the top. And people need to start remembering that. But anyway, we'll go back to the race. And in the race, Max was great, but he ain't gonna win next week. He ain't gonna win in Singapore.
Big up to Russ,
because he doesn't have the car to do it.
Big up Chris Bosch. No.
big up Rasta stocks every single time. I'll be on with on this channel at in about 12 hours from now. So you man, check it out. I'll be talking football with him, Man United with him. So yeah. So you mentioned it's a channel. Go sub to Rasta Stocks if you haven't done so already. And if anyone has tuned in from Mike's channel, make sure you guys hit the like button on your way and sub. We're 8 subs away from 450 subs. If you guys could sub as well. King's channel is gonna be in the description. I'm gonna put King's channel in there as well. So go sub to King's channel too. He is getting ever so closer to 150 subs. So yeah, you man, keep subbing. Sub to the mandem every single time. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, King, you're 100% right. I won't prolong this Max Verstappen discussion because we have to discuss the race, obviously, not a Max referendum.
You might as well go on Max Verstappen's win as well. That's
but
the race.
I will say, King, calling him the best driver ever for me is not simply because of his accomplishments. It's also his pure ability, and it's something that was said before he cheated his way to the top. Look at 2016 after that race in Brazil. Look at what Niki Lauda, the man who got Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes, the man that has been there, done everything, seen everyone. He called Max Verstappen the talent of the century over Michael Schumacher, over Lewis Hamilton, and so many others. Random man, as you mentioned in the chat, Eddie Jordan himself, who had Senna and Schumacher both under his wing. He called Max Verstappen the best driver of all time. So this has been a claim that's been made even before Max Verstappen had the success. Some players like Messi, Arsene Wenger did it, right? Was it 2011? Before Messi had all the best accomplishments individually and collectively, Wenger called Messi the greatest of all time. So while I agree with you, accomplishments are incredibly important. That's why I'm not calling him the GOAT. I do think that Max Verstappen being the best driver ever is completely warranted and has nothing to do with cheating his way to the top. The talent has been there. It is just that he has gotten more and more complete every single year that goes by, to the point where he has so little flaws, the least holes in his game possible.
To what you were saying, Nico Rosberg, he went on a Zoom call with some British journalists. I think they were from Sky Sports, and after he won in Monza, they said that that Red Bull had the fastest car that day. But then Nico Rosberg, he butted in and said, no, it was the fastest driver, actually. He said Max Verstappen understands these sensitivities in the car. He knows how to take every corner on the limit. He understands the edge, and he understands how to not overdrive the car to the point where he's going to end up crashing. And I think if anyone can create a setup where he can win in Singapore, he can win in tracks like Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi, he can win in Sao Paulo. If there's not rain, if anyone can create a setup with the tires and the wing and everything is in harmony and the ride height, it's gonna be him.
You're on mute.
Sorry, rookie error for me. I 100% expected Max to win, but Sainz finishing on the podium is not what I expected. Amazing performance by him. Yeah, I didn't expect Carlos Sainz to be on the podium as well. I thought he dropped down to 5th or 6th. I didn't expect him to be that high, but fair enough. I mean, he got the podium. But I did say George Russell finished P2, and that's something I did not expect. I predicted it out of the blue. I didn't expect it, but I thought, hey, maybe he has a chance. He finished. What was his quali finish again? He was like what, P4?
Second.
In quali.
Sainz finished second qualifying.
No.
He was 5th. He was 5th.
No.
He was behind Kimi.
Russell.
He was 5th.
Russell, yeah, 5th.
5th. So I did not expect Russell to be P2. I just said it. I just said it like that. But hey, cool. You know what I mean? Got the prediction right, anyways. I just can't call anyone better. He wasn't just fast. He wasn't. He knew when to push hard. He knew he could take massive risks. Auguste, I knew the moment I read that word.
No, I didn't even say anything yet. You just that's on you, Ekman, not on me.
He maxed out cars, yes, bro, and that's why Michael Schumacher's my GOAT as well. But that's just
no. But to be fair, I will say, people discredit Hamilton and Verstappen for that. There's actually a famous clip. I think it was this year, where Verstappen was like talking to reporters, and he's like, "Look at the two people that are in the paddock this early.
Yep.
Hamilton and I. We are both with the ones with the world championships here. There is a reason we have that. So even with Messi, people just doubt this just because they're not flashy, they're not flamboyant about this publicly. All of those three are first in, last out.
Look at Mohamed Salah. He's 33, and he goes home from training session after being at the training ground all day, and he goes home and does 2 or 3 hours of gym work. Same as Alonso. Alonso, he spends a lot of time in the gym. That's simply what these kids aren't doing. The teens, the rookies that are joining the grid, they don't have that. They just want to go out and do Instagram posts, go on the yacht and drink.
Hey, don't forget the burgers as well.
Oh, yeah.
Lando's burgers. Come on. Big up. But no, King, I do get what you mean, though, with other drivers could also win 9 races. I just think if it's anyone to do it, beat Max.
Listen, we could have a whole episode about it, but I don't agree Max is the greatest or the best or anything. So for me personally, having seen other drivers live,
Neither do
I don't agree with Max in it. I'm from a different generation. I understand the modern day Formula One people would say Max because that's what they've seen. But having seen Michael Schumacher, having seen Hamilton, having seen Vettel, having seen Alonso in their pomp, I can't put Max above those kind of guys for me personally. But you know, it's each to their own. It's not really about. It's opinion in the end of the day. Who do you like the best? For me, as I said, I called him Verstappen because that's what he was when he came into the sport. You also had the incident this season with Russell. He's shown to be an overly aggressive driver at times, to the point where I feel like the FIA allowed him so. And yeah, I feel like Max is a great driver. He's the greatest of this current crop. But that current crop doesn't include the Alonso's, Vettels, Schumachers, or Hamiltons because they were in a different time period. They were in a time period where some of them drove where you actually had to fuel the car. Some of them had to drive, actually had different levels of electrics and all these other things that the car has now that they didn't have back then, even if you go to Senna's era, and etc., etc. It's a different time period. In this current time period, in his peers, and his peers are probably your Landos, your Charleses, your Georges, he's the best of the crop. Yes, by far, he's the best out of those ones. And the last 2 championships, he's thoroughly deserved. The first 2, not so. And this race he thoroughly deserved as well. He was perfect from minute 1 till the end. nothing bad, but not a bad word to say about Max's drive. Though I think he's going to be flawless for the rest of the season, no, because he doesn't have the car. And in the end of the day, I think more than F1, especially more than anything, the car matters more than the driver. For me personally, I feel like a lot of the time when you have the best car, you can see that you're gonna win most races. The only reason you won't win most races is if you are a super inferior driver compared to the rest. But because of the level differences, I don't think is that much. You get McLaren with the best car, and Oscar and Lando are winning races, but because they're on even keel, they're not, not one's better than the other that by that much. They're both gonna win races here and there, and then Max is going to get certain races where he gets the right setup and he'll win a race here or there as well, because his car's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not a tractor. It's just not the best. It's probably second or third. I think his car in particular is probably the second best car on the grid at any other rate, at any race. But just because Ferrari keep messing up. But outside of that, what do I think? Oscar Piastri needs to look in the mirror. He can't afford to make a mistake like that again. He got away with one, this weekend. He got away with one because Lando didn't do enough to bridge that gap. Personally, I think Lando should have done a lot more. The team let him down with the pit stop, but he let himself down with the driving that he was on that weekend. He wasn't quick enough and he wasn't good enough to get past Yuki and others when he should be in a superior car. And I think a better driver would have got past those cars and actually put himself on the podium. Because if he puts himself in the podium, even if it's third or second, that's a big point swing that he can take on to the next races and have more confidence in catching up Oscar. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The whole Baku Grand Prix caught me off guard, except Max and Ferrari. Fairs. Big up to Jay Jones. Big up to you, bro.
King, can I?
Yeah. Let me read this comment real quick. Yeah.
Sure.
Let me just get this comment out. We saw Vettel with the Ferrari take some wins with the second fastest car against Hamilton and Rosberg. Yeah, I mean Vettel with that Ferrari car could have done so much more, but no comment. As a Ferrari fan, you man will know deep down what actually happened.
How can I?
World terms, Michael is the Messi and Max is the Yamal up and coming world. Is that to be fair? No, Max cannot be Yamal.
I like the line of thinking, but Kevin, I think the fairer comparison would be if Max was Kylian Mbappe, if Mbappe fulfilled his potential on a club level.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because Max has obviously been better than Mbappe. He's been the best player in the world for the last 4 years. Yeah. But if Mbappe did what he did on the club level,
or Erling Haaland, 4 in a row.
Yeah, but Mbappe's got the World Cup. He won the World Cup at 19, and Mbappe and Verstappen are basically the same age, and Mbappe's revered as one of the best strikers in the world.
But I compare Man City to Red Bull.
Yeah, as George Russell said yesterday at the press conference, it's not Red Bull racing, it's Max Verstappen racing. So,
but we're amazing last season, and neither are this season so far.
But real quick, King, on to your point, I 100% agree with you. There is 100% bias to generation. That's just subconscious. That's almost inherent as humans. Whatever we resonate with our childhood, with our first few experiences, we glorify that more than what we would do today, for example. But I don't think Niki Lauda was born in this generation. The same thing, I don't think I'm the same age as Eddie Jordan either, Nico Rosberg or Jenson Button. So many of the Formula One experts are echoing in our opinion. And also, the weight of an opinion is not about what age you're from. It's the message, not the messenger. And I think the reasons that, I completely agree with your opinion, King. I agree that you have a point, no doubt. But the reasons that Ran and I are providing in terms of races won, ability, attributes, things like that, it is also valid as well. I don't think it's a generational thing. There is merit in both claims.
No. Yeah. I'll add one more thing before I go. Listen, the reason why they won't, there's people in the sport that won't ever say that Lewis is the greatest is I don't want to make it a color thing, but look at the sport. And I think what happened in 2021, what's been talked about him as a driver, him as a person, even in his instances with Max, when Max has been the worst driver in terms of aggressiveness, in terms of he should have been disqualified that season. It's always listen. Jenson Button won't say it because, I listen. I don't want to. As I said, I don't want to make it a race thing. But let's be honest here. These guys are all white. The sport's been mostly white for most of the time. It's a rich man's club that Lewis has came in, destroyed, and changed it in many ways. He's done things to that sport that most people don't like. The BLM stuff, the LGBTQ stuff, the other stuff that he's put in, and he's and he's become bigger than the sport himself in terms of what he's able to do outside of the sport. He is a bigger face than Formula One. He has more fans on his Instagram, etc., etc. So he is bigger than the sport itself because of what he has done as a driver and the uniqueness of who he is. And let's be honest, Nico Rosberg's never going to really put Lewis Hamilton ahead of Max because he knows that he got away with one title from Lewis. He stole one. Max stole one from Lewis. Lewis should have multiple more champions than he has at the moment. He should be by facto, it shouldn't even be a debate when it comes to the amount of championships. He should be on 10 right now. He should be the ultimate F1 champion of all time. But certain things happened in the sport that, is a white man boys club against him from the moment he's entered the sport to the moment now, to the point where they use him in ways that they don't use others. They talk about him in ways that they don't talk about others. And I feel like he is bigger than the sport. So we can all talk about this Max thing, but let's be honest. Who are the people talking about Max? What do they look like? And what does Lewis look like? They're not gonna say Lewis. The sport itself would never acknowledge Lewis as the greatest. They will never acknowledge him as the greatest. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I don't want to say it, but it has to be said.
And King, I 100% agree with you. Hamilton has definitely had to face more obstacles, insurmountable, unimaginable obstacles that not many, if any, could surpass and overcome as he has. I don't deny that one bit. But my issue is, again, I think in a conversation like this, that's for me more about the greatest of all time. When you talk about impact, when you talk about becoming bigger than the sport, when you talk about transcending it, whereas when you talk about the best on track in terms of attributes, abilities, peak performance, I think what we have to critique as fans is the message, not the messengers necessarily. And the messengers add ethos to it. So that's why we mentioned Niki Lauda, for example. That's why we mentioned Eddie Jordan. But there is a lot of merit in the message as well. I think that's how the conversation needs to be centered around. So, and like, I agree with you on the Lewis point, but still there is a big disconnect between you saying Max Verstappen has cheated his whole way to winning it versus Lewis Hamilton's the GOAT. Like, there are two different conversations there.
And what you said about the messages and messenger, Niki Lauda, 3-time world champion, Nico Rosberg, 1-time world champion, Jenson Button, 1-time world champion. That the messengers hold a lot of weight in what they say, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It's coming out their mouth, yeah. And Eddie Jordan could easily say, "Oh, I scouted this guy called Ayrton Senna da Silva out of Formula 3. I found the greatest driver to ever be born in history." But instead, he says that this driver born in 1997, who came into the sport in 2015 at the age of 17, I should be on the grid, innit? Scott, I'm 17. I should be in that Toro Rosso, yeah. My bad. So basically, in his first race at Red Bull Racing, he wins it. And you could say, oh, Daniel Ricciardo was made to stop 3 times or whatever, but that was a very, very good display, and that just showed what was to come in the years. And obviously he's had his moments like crashing, like when he crashed into Vettel, crashing Ricciardo at Hungary, and his nickname was Crash Stappen, but over time he's just become a racer's racer. Alonso loves him. Remember when Alonso was watching his lap at Suzuka and Silverstone, he said only he can put the car so high or higher than it deserves. And that is very, very big praise too, because he's considered one of the greatest and he's calling Verstappen the greatest. And I feel like every Formula One show we have this debate, who's the greatest, because Verstappen puts on a flawless display. It's happened in the 2 shows I've been on, Monza and Baku, that he's put on a flawless display, and he's just showed that he's head and shoulders above the rest of the grid in terms of being able to eke out every bit of performance out of a car. And when there's a car considered a rocket ship, the MCL39, Max Verstappen can just tune the sensitivity out of it, tune it in a way that he can beat anyone on track. And I think that we need to stop having these debates because they're just pointless at this. They're just pointless at this point because Chris Harris said it very, very perfectly. He said we can't compare drivers necessarily because they all raced in different eras. You think of Fangio, then you think of Moss, then you think of Brabham, then you think of Lauda, then you think of Prost, then you think of Senna, then you think of Schumacher, then you think of Hamilton, think of Verstappen. All these guys race in different eras. The sport's been going on for 75 years. So we could sit here watching all the archive footage of Formula One all day, every day. But obviously, we're not going to be able to get the chance to compare all these drivers because they're on different machinery, different safety standards. There was different driver training when they were younger. So for example, some drivers might not be able to afford wet tires for wet races, so they would have to use slick tires, dry tires for their karting races. For example, Alonso and Hamilton had to do that when they were younger because they couldn't afford it because they come from working class families. So I think that we should just celebrate all these drivers, but when there's a driver that is putting on performances, give them the praise. But I don't think we should make it a thing about eras and who's the best to ever done it because different people are going to have different opinions because of different eras they've lived in and different eras that drivers have come from and different eras that they have emotional attachment to.
Yeah, and I completely and utterly agree. I would just add though onto both of your points, which is why I think everyone's opinion is valid. Everyone's opinion is valued and welcomed. But that's why, as fans, the best thing for us to do is to look at the message and not the messenger. That's why I think there's 100%. I call Lewis, like the Tifosi says, Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT, Max is the best. I completely agree with him, and I think there's merit in even doing it vice versa if you want. But I wouldn't say people calling Max Verstappen the best is a byproduct of race, because then also, I mean, what you said about Max cheating his way to the top, even if you remove Lewis Hamilton, let's say Lewis Hamilton is the Messiah, as Random Man said, they're calling him the best among every other white driver in Formula One history as well. And there have been some pretty damn good white drivers like Schumacher and Senna as well. So, yeah, I just think target the message, not the messenger. But yes, I agree with you on Lewis Hamilton King. He has had to overcome the biggest adversity, the toughest hurdles, and that's why, like I said, he is the greatest of all time here.
For me, we can't compare drivers, but not in the era they raced in. That's what Tifosi is saying. I mean, different eras, they've had different rules, they've had different engines, they've had different set of cars, different drivers as well, obviously, like different competition, if you know what I'm trying to say. They've had to abide by newer laws, new regulations, year in, year out. So the game is changing on a yearly basis. So I think that's fair. That's a fair judgment to say. We can compare drivers, but they cannot compare the eras. 100%. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Comparing eras is subjective, as so many things can change throughout eras, and bias plays a huge part. Yeah, as Tifosi was saying, no worries, Augustia, take your time. So as Tifosi was saying, the eras that they've raced in, they've had different, like I said, different set of regulations, different set of rules. So 100%. King saying the quiet part out loud, never seen the sport put down their most famous and successful athlete like one. Lewis has been the GOAT for the colored community, and big him up for that. I fully respect his dedication to get into F1. It was a tough journey for him, 100%. It's always a tough journey for any driver to get into the F1. You only feel privileged to be in that seat. Once you get into that, once you're in the F1 seat, you have to be on it from race one. Otherwise, if you've got replacements lined up, the game is more ruthless nowadays as well. So yeah, they normally acknowledge his greatest when promoting others. That's true. When they start mentioning the Schumachers, then the Senna, then they start mentioning Hamilton in the bracket. But once they don't mention those guys, Hamilton's completely ignored. You know what I mean? That's one thing about Lewis I find very, very like strange, because people all of a sudden they like, either they like him or they hate him, Lewis Hamilton. So either they like him or they hate him. So many people don't fancy Lewis Hamilton, like King said earlier, because of certain circumstances, of certain backgrounds, of certain ethnics. You know what I'm trying to say. But that's not me speaking for everyone. That's just me speaking for what King said. Lewis is the GOAT and Max is the best. That's fair.
I think.
but yeah. Sorry, go on. It's okay.
I think if you go back 5 years to Turkish Grand Prix 2020 when Lewis Hamilton's won his 7th World Championship, I think the conversation would be very different because that'll be hot off the press that he's a 7-time world champion. He was in the pantheon of the greats, and now you got Verstappen in there. So I think it's just competition. Competition will always happen in sports, and there will always be these debates about who is the best to ever do it. And what African said about the Abu Dhabi 2021 Grand Prix. Well, if Felipe Massa gets his lawsuit and it's all successful and he's instated as a 2008 Formula World Champion, that the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix gets cancelled and it gets what do you call it, like the result gets blocked off and it gets cancelled and Massa's world champion. Well, that goes and opens the door for Lewis Hamilton to do his own lawsuit. Well, right after the race happened in Abu Dhabi in 2021, Mercedes didn't go with their lawyers to try and push to the FIA lobby to do a lawsuit. But I think that this lawsuit, if it's successful, even if he gets really close to claiming that world champion and world championship, or if Lewis Hamilton is on 6 and Massa is on 1, well, that goes and opens the door to Verstappen to become on 3 and Hamilton to have 7 again after Massa takes it from the lawsuit, if it happens, if it's successful. That's next month, 29th October, I think the hearing is.
It's probably still Lewis the most successful on paper and to the eye test kings. Same with Michael, to be fair. I can't lie. If I didn't see Michael race, Lewis would be on 1,000,000% my goal. That's fair enough, bro. That's fair enough. Yeah, you're right. But what you can compare their genius on the track, like knowing when they can take risks and push past drivers. A lot of racers don't become GOATs because they don't have the balls. Fair enough. I can't see Lewis himself or his team pushing for that if Massa gets his 2008 title, to be fair. Lewis lives by a different code. That's another thing. If Massa gets his 2008 title with the court case that's ongoing, as Rand has mentioned before, as Rand has mentioned in the time in the previous shows we've done. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know. But then Lewis Hamilton also has a case to make for his 7th world championship that could have been won in 2021. So yeah. Big up to Bossa Blue. Big up to you, my guy. Hope you're well.
Yeah, right after that race happened, Mercedes' lawyers decided not to push for a lawsuit. But obviously, if it's 2025 now, that championship ended 17 years ago, and if that can become successfully, that lawsuit can successfully instate Massa as a world champion, and why can't the lawsuit instate Hamilton as a 2021 world champion?
They could look into it, to be fair.
Yeah.
They could, but I don't see it. Just like in football, you can't strip off titles anymore. Like, we can go back and talk about Man City's Chargers all we like, but at the end of the day, they've already won it. It's hard to take it away from them. You know what I mean? They've got the most points in that season. They've got the most goals. It's hard to take it away.
For example,
Sorry. Might have been no. That's okay. I was just gonna say that there might have been some iffy stuff behind the scenes. You know what I'm trying to say, but at the same time, you can't strip those titles anymore. It's too late now. They've already won it. You could do it in the season they did it, but you can't do it in years gone by that they've already done it. It's hard to take away moments from fans. It's hard to take away the moments that fans have lived through. They've already seen it. They can't not celebrate no more. They've already celebrated it. It's hard to not celebrate it. And last thing, oh no, sorry, I reread that one. Sorry about that. I know you want to say something, Ranveer. Sorry.
Yeah, you know when Rodri handballed it, for example, this is an example. When Rodri handballed against Everton in the 2021-2022 season, Liverpool, the club and the fans could easily say, "Oh, well, that's against our biggest rivals, Everton, but that was a handball, and that should be given as a penalty." But no, sport moves on. Even if there's lobbies, even if there's protests, even if there's lawsuits, sport moves on, and whoever's on the Wikipedia page for being a winner in a certain competition, their name is always going to be on it, because sport, I don't think there's ever been a sporting instance where a lawsuit has overturned the result of a world championship competition, especially 17 years later.
I feel like Lewis, knowing that the sport he loves, didn't really speak on what happened. He probably wouldn't sue Massa. So he wouldn't sue if Massa got his title. He'd want to win it on the track, not the courts now. I mean, it depends on how controversial it is as well, right? It depends if they barely get by. If you barely get by and you win it by more wins or by a controversial decision by the FIA or something like that, then maybe there's a case. But so many of those titles have been won by a landslide by Lewis Hamilton. It's hard to take it away from him already. I'm trying to say. Then like I said, I could make the case for 2021. Although I did say Max did deserve it. I was on Max Verstappen's side at the time. Looking back at it, I don't know. I still don't know what really went on. All I saw was Max Verstappen had a tire change and raced to the end, and then he overtook Lewis Hamilton. That's all I thought of it as. I never thought of it as anything else. I never thought he cheated, right? But in 2008, it depends how close it was. And but Renvier obviously has more insights than I do. I wasn't paying attention to that. I didn't know about it until the court case itself. To be honest with you, I didn't educate myself on the F1 too much. But all I knew was that there was a court case ongoing for Massa's 2008 World Championship. I didn't know I didn't know that he got robbed. All I know is that Lewis Hamilton won seven championships, 7 World Drivers' Championships. I never knew about no court case. I never knew about no robberies and whatnot, apart from 2021, obviously. But
basically, a few months ago, I thought I'd watch the Drive to Survive episode where it shows the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So I watched it, and there was 5 or 6 cars between Verstappen and Hamilton. When Verstappen went in to change for soft tires, he came out and there was lapped cars in front of him. So there was Hamilton. There was 5 or 6 cars between him and Hamilton. And what Michael Massey, the race director, did, and I read about this in a book. It's called Growing Wings, The Inside Story of Red Bull Racing. And it said that basically the race director, Michael Massey, did what he saw fit. So he did the best in accordance to what he's been taught on the job, and he did the best in accordance with all the safety and everything on track. So he said to those 5 or 6 drivers, after a lot of pleading from Jonathan Wheatley to say, and Christian Horner to say, let these lapped cars go by because we need Hamilton and Verstappen to be in a natural position, which is 1 and 2 in that race at the time. So those 5 or 6 cars going by, there's Sainz and then Norris and they going by, and there's a 1-lap shootout. First they said there's not going to be a racing lap, and then they decide that there is going to be a racing lap because Nicholas Latifi's car, who crashed, had been cleared and it was deemed safe to race again. So Verstappen had the fresher tyres, the softer tyres, and Hamilton was in the better car, the Mercedes W12, Mercedes W12, yeah. He was on about 20 or 30 odd lap old hard tyres, and Verstappen's fresher tyres just beat him. And Hamilton didn't have DRS either, so none of the drivers had DRS. It was just a push for pace, and on that 1-lap shootout, Verstappen prevailed. And when I was watching that back, when I realised that they let the 5 or 6 cars, I'm not sure which is why I'm saying 5 or 6. 5 or 6 cars between Verstappen and Hamilton after Verstappen come out from the pit stop, that seems very suspicious to me, to be honest. Looking back in retrospect, I didn't realise that at the time. And based on for the 2008 Formula 1 Championship, 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Nelson Piquet Jr., who was Alonso's teammate at Renault, because Alonso went back to Renault after his after being teammates with Hamilton at McLaren. He went back to Renault, and Nelson Piquet Jr., I don't know if he was told this beforehand, because he was. Okay, no way. Alonso wasn't told about this beforehand. Basically, I'm just I had lack of sleep. I'm slurring in it, but Nelson Piquet Jr. got informed beforehand to match fix, basically, so he would crash, and Alonso was told by the team to come in for fresh tyres and fuel, which seemed very suspicious because he came out behind the rest of the pack. So he randomly goes into the pits to get fresh tyres and fuel. He randomly goes into pits, and he comes out in last place. And then what happens is Nelson Piquet Jr. he crashes into the wall, and that causes a big pile up of debris, which obviously needs to get cleaned. And all the drivers in front of him have to go into because they see it as a perfect opportunity to get fresh tires and fuel. And then they get fresh tires and fuel. And Alonso is obviously running in first place because he's already got the fresh tires and fuel. Piquet the drivers. No, Nelson Piquet Jr. Nelson Piquet Jr. is the son of three-time world champion Nelson Piquet. That's his son, Nelson Piquet Jr. And Nelson Piquet and Flavio Briatore, who's actually the Alpine. He's not the team principal per se, but obviously Oliver Oakes left. That must be his role now, obviously. So he's the de facto team principal for Alpine right now. Flavio Briatore, after that incident, was given a lifetime ban by the FIA, and he's allowed back in the grid. So if Nelson Piquet Jr. admitted and Flavio Briatore admitted that that's a match fix because they're not allowed to do that intentionally crash because that puts people's lives in jeopardy, and that's just random team strategy, which people deem as horrific to have your teammate crash in order for you to benefit. But obviously, I'm not opposed to it because it can make for a better race. Obviously, if I was in the FIA governing body, I would be banned by now because of what I said. But obviously, I'm not opposed to that because that is just how the game is sometimes. And I think because Piquet Jr. has admitted that's a match fix and Flavio Briatore, the rest of the Renault team members have admitted that's a match fix, then that's a strong case that the lawsuit will result in the success of Felipe Massa being the Formula 1 World Champion for 2008 and the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix result to be cancelled. Which obviously, that wasn't the biggest issue regarding Massa in the 2000 Singapore Grand Prix. There's obviously when he came into the pits, the fuel man left the hose on his car, which meant that he had to stop in the middle of the pit lane for the guy to remove it. Obviously, that resulted in going down in order by drastically, and that he lost that world championship by 1 point, which is what he wants, and he would have claimed 2 or 3 points. I think it would in the position that he'd come out in pits if pit stop had gone out to plan, but obviously it didn't.
Mass effed up. That's all. Massy F up. That's all. Don't want to explain it all, but let's just run with some Massy effing it up. Fair enough. This is generally why I stopped watching the sport. To me, excuse me, I can't even talk. Suspicious things have happened in the sport in recent years. Get Max Lewis King on a team for 24 hours, Le Mans. To be honest, Flavio should have been banned from F1 and banned from representing Alonso because technically he never left F1. I think we've gone off topic. It was a good discussion. We've gone off topic. It was very, very good.
Let me just add one more thing.
Yeah,
Felipe Massa's not just looking for that world championship. He's looking for $80 million in revenue damages. He said that because he didn't become the Formula 1 World Championship in 2008, that he didn't become the world champion in 2008. He said that was a drastic loss of revenue from sponsorship and whatnot. So he's looking for $80 million in damages as well, alongside the 2008 World Championship.
Can I just jump in for 30 seconds? I won't be long.
And then we'll let King kick off with the race because he hasn't spoken in a long time. Since you left, he hasn't spoken a single word, and I'm so sorry that you had to get through a lot of the comments.
More bad.
I apologize, King. Yeah, I haven't heard a word that any of you have said since I was gone. But I can tell you, if they start this precedent, my goodness, it is going to be a banana republic across sports. I understand some would make the case that Massa was robbed. I don't have all the information, the nuts and bolts about the lawsuit or even the championship itself, but I just think this sets a really awful precedent. And if this is the case,
I only just found out about it like this year. I didn't even know shit about it.
Yeah, and if there is a legitimate chance, the extent that you're saying, Random Man, and you're quite a reliable person, I'm only going to say that once. I'm not going to say it again. So enjoy that compliment. I think that sets a preposterous precedent, and Lewis Hamilton should get his 2021 championship back.
Yeah,
other sports athletes, Franck Ribéry should get his Ballon d'Or back. Lewandowski should get his Ballon d'Or back. I mean, it just sets an awful precedent. A can of worms. Sorry, King.
We'll get to the race now, people. King, Max Verstappen wins back-to-back races for the first time since last year. Kick it off, bro. I know we're 54 minutes in, guys. Hit the like button, sub to King's channel, and sub to my channel. 8 subs to 450. King, kick it off, bro. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. That was a good topic. But yeah. 2008. That was scummy. What happened in 2020 was scummy as well. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to be changed because it's too late now. You have to do it on the year that it happens rather than down the line because you can't really change. Like no one's going to change it. It's similar to when people talk about football when financial cheating has happened and nothing changes in terms of the results. But in terms of the race, yeah, as I said, Max was flawless. He was flawless from start to finish. He pretty much had his own race. As soon as he got past that first corner, and he got his distance away from Signs, it was pretty much easy light work for him from there. Obviously, we had the incident with Oscar, who had the false start, and then it led to Alonso having a false start as well, and then he crashes, so he's out the race. And then I think from there, nothing much else really happened. Oh yeah, that's funny. A lot of things outside of that, nothing really happened in the race. I feel like I'm happy for Sainz to get top 3. I'm happy Sainz got top 3. George Russell had a great race as always. I think the Mercedes car was a lot quicker than I expected because obviously 2 of them in the top 4, so they had a really good car this weekend. The Ferraris were slow. I expected a bit more from the McLaren of Lando Norris, but he struggled to get past, as I said, Yuki, which cost him a lot, and then the team cost him with a slow pit stop as well. So he had a double whammy of not being quick enough to get past Yuki, but then also with the pit stop, that cost him, I think, a couple good places as well. And yeah, the Racing Bulls did their thing, double points, highest finish for Lawson. Yeah, overall, there's not really much to say on the race. Not a lot happened outside of the first lap incident with Oscar, which is, something
Rookie.
that he's gonna have. Yeah. It's not a rookie mistake. It's just a mistake. For second mistake of this season. He made the first mistake in Australia, so uncharacteristically a mistake. The only thing he's lucky is that Lando Norris didn't capitalize on it enough, because as I said before, Lando needed to at least get top 3, get a podium position, get double point, get at least 15, maybe 18 points, so that he can, catch up to Oscar. But 6 points isn't good enough for Lando. I think that race wasn't good enough for him. And yeah, there's not really much else to be said. Ferraris, I feel like everyone who had a poor qualifying had a poor race. So I feel like there was a lot of DRS trains. I think it was very difficult to overtake. Much more harder than I expected. I thought that we would have seen more overtakes, but it wasn't to be. And it just allowed for the top runners to have a very comfortable race and for Sainz to get a podium, which was great for him. So yeah, that's all I got about to say about the race.
Yeah,
Augustia?
I completely agree with King. I think I'm happy for Carlos Sainz. Thoroughly deserved. It's so astounding. If you told me, Ekevin, before the season started that Sainz would get a first podium with Williams before Hamilton does with Ferrari, I'd say, Ekevin, you're Hamilton's #1 hater, but here we are. Circumstances lead to this.
Anymore.
No, Ekevin, did you hear what I said? The analogy I said?
Yeah.
No.
Say
I basically said at the beginning of the season, Ekevin, if you had predicted Sainz to get a podium before Lewis Hamilton, I would have called you a Hamilton hater, because that just sounds so otherworldly. It sounds nuts. And I know you're not a Hamilton hater, but that's my point. No one expected Carlos Sainz to be on the podium before Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton, before his successor to his car. So kudos to Carlos Sainz. The race itself, I agree with you, King. I don't think the McLarens had that much outstanding pace as we all suspected them to have. But at the same time, 100%, you put probably Max or peak Lewis in that car, it does get above those midfield teams, probably does. Maybe gets to 5th or 4th. But it was the DRS trains, as you said. DRS trains are a killer. They're a nightmare. The impact of DRS is beyond pervasive, and it is overriding and overpowering irrespective of machinery. So it will be very interesting to see what happens next year. Apart from that, with the entirety of the race, I didn't hate the race. I actually thought it was a good race. I thought there were some interesting moments strategically as well. It wasn't a snooze fest as we have had in the past, but compared to what we expected, it was a little
I
bit
thought it was quicker. I thought it was quicker than we expected. To be fair, I thought it'd take longer than what we thought. You said around 2.5 hours. It took almost 1 hour 50 minutes. I think it's 40 minutes short of your prediction. I think.
Yeah, because I was factoring in qualifying, and qualifying lasted 2 hours. It lasted longer than the Liverpool-Everton match.
The red flags, to be fair, you thought it'd be red flags.
Yeah, and qualifying lasted longer than Liverpool-Everton did. It was the longest ever qualifying session in Formula One history. I thought maybe that would translate, but of course...
It started afterwards. As well, to be fair. So
yeah, but it lasted longer still, which is just...
No, that's true.
Nuts. But yeah, a good race. I enjoyed it. We will see what happens in Singapore. And
this weekend.
We'll have next weekend.
This upcoming weekend or next week?
Next weekend, the 1st October weekend. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Right.
We will see what happens with the title. They will have major consequences on Oscar Piastri's confidence. That's a big thing to look at. On Lando Norris, whether he can capitalize. And Max Verstappen, can he continue to conquer?
Yeah, I kind of lied to you. I thought Max Verstappen was the clear favorite and the clear runner to win this race. I think it was obvious from the moment he got that pole position, in my opinion, because like at the end of the day, if you look at the drivers that finished in the quali, look at the amount of drivers that dropped into the bottom half of the table from the top 10 to the bottom 10. If you look at the names of the drivers, which of the drivers are the ones that you think will win the race that finish on pole or podium? It's Max Verstappen. You can't bet against Max Verstappen. In the last 3 races, I think there's been a sprint race victory. There was and he won 2 races in a row. Like I think since the summer, was it summer? You think since the break, I think Max Verstappen has been the one on form. It's hard to bet against Max. I mean, it's not about him having the fastest car. Him having the strategy as well. His team having the strategy. The car, the upgrades. I think they made some upgrades over the offseason as well. Well, not offseason, excuse me. The break. You got to give credit to Max Verstappen and fair play to him. And Oscar, I think it was a slight error. I think it was just I think every single championship driver goes through this sort of phase where they'll make an error here and there. They'll make an error once in a while. I think. Do you know what it is? I think this might spur him on to go win the title now. If this is what he is looking at, maybe this is what could help him go win the title now. This mistake might just help him big time. Although I still think Lando is not out of it yet. That's not what I think will happen yet. But it could really push him on to go and win. However, it's not over till it's over, in my opinion. But yeah, and obviously with Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari, it's easy. It's the easiest summary to say. It's a tank year for Ferrari. It's a tank year. This is they're playing the American sports thing now, where they're basically tanking and they're trying to purposely just finish mid-table and not trying to win a single race. No, I'm kidding. I just don't think they have a good enough car. I think them letting Charles Leclerc go through in qualifying might have costed Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari big points this week. Although the Constructors' Championship is officially over now, I think it's almost over now. Anyways, pretty much. If they would have got a 1 and 2, it'd have been confirmed. But even then, like it doesn't change much. I mean, Ferrari, they made the error with, like I said, by letting Charles Leclerc go through. Lewis Hamilton was clearly the faster car with the faster tires, and I had the fastest time as well. I think them allowing Charles Leclerc might have been a downfall for them this weekend, but that's just me. And Charles Leclerc just had a really poor qualifying, crashed into the wall, let himself down. That's all I can really say about that. I mean, other than that, Carlos Sainz, hey, did I think he'd finish in the podium? Nope. I predicted him to finish P5 or P6. I thought he finished about as low as that. But hey, listen, big up to the Williams. They finally stepped it up in recent weeks. I think the Williams has looked a lot better they've looked more competitive as well in races. And Carlos Sainz has got his first podium of the season. Big up to him. First podium for Williams. First of many potentially. I think this could be the first of many. Don't be surprised if he does finish in the podium one more time this season. I won't be surprised if this is the first of the next 2 or 3 times he finishes on the podium in the next few races. Don't be surprised. 2 years ago, Carlos Sainz dominated Singapore. Don't forget that as well. And there's a good chance Carlos Sainz could get into the podium in Singapore. We don't know, but we shall see. But it depends what Williams do for that week. It depends what Williams can do for their car. It depends on the qualifying as well. Like I said, like I always say, the start of the race. And Oscar Piastri could not start well. What happened was his car stalled mid. I think once he started, his car stalled. I think he started too early, and then his car stalled for a bit. And then that's where even Alonso followed up, and then they had the issue. And then that's why he fell to 20th, and then Alonso obviously would have got the penalty, which Piastri would have got as well had he continued the race, but obviously he crashed out, so the penalties are irrelevant now. But listen, that's all I can really say about the race. I don't really have much to say more. I mean, it's basically a Route 1 race. Russell P2, as I called it. And I will brag about it because I did call it Augusta. Yeah, prediction king. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold the hands up, Ekevin. Well said.
I'm kidding. No, but as I said, that's all I can really say. I mean, fair play to Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, and George Russell.
Yeah, and Random Man, I know you haven't reviewed the race yet, so I'll pass on to you. But real quick, Carlos Sainz isn't just the smooth operator; he's the strategic operator. I don't think I've seen many, if any, drivers manhandle the strategy the way he has whilst he is driving. He did it at Ferrari. That's why he won in Singapore. That's why he won in Silverstone. He's doing it again with Williams. He is completely dictating the strategy. He is beyond composed. He is beyond calm. He is beyond cool. He's beyond calculated. And kudos to him. He is one of... Sorry?
Just saying, not last year. He said that tradition, but I said not last year. But sorry, finish.
Yeah, but exceptions don't define the rule. But yeah, so I think Carlos Sainz is... That's why James Vowles hired him. For that and for that alone, right? He has the experience and he has the composure, push comes to shove, to prevail. But sorry, Random Man, the floor is all yours.
Yes, bro. Floor is all yours.
Yeah, so I predicted Verstappen to finish in P1 and then Leclerc to finish in P2. Now, that was wayward. That was absolutely wayward. But I thought Leclerc could pull something out the hat and come back to podium position. Yes, Joshua, you're right, mate. So I predicted that Russell to finish P3, finish P2. So that was my predictions this week weren't the best. But Carlos Sainz getting a podium. To all those people that said he shouldn't have took that L'Oreal sponsorship because he's already washed. Well, think again, because he has been at a race-winning team before, Ferrari, and he's been at a race-winning team before, McLaren, and he's been through so many engine manufacturers. He's raced with Renault engines, Ferrari engines, now Mercedes engines, and he's such an adaptable driver, and he is what Vowles needs at the helm, because even the engineers say he's an extra engineer, and they need this data to show. Obviously, if you have a race-winning car, that's one part of the equation, as Williams will be believed to do so in the next 2, 3, 4 years. But you obviously need strategy and a driver who can manage race pace, and they need this data because they need a data for pit stops, tyre management, race pace, because I think with 4 or 5 laps to go, Carlos Sainz was eking out a 1.8 second gap to Antonelli behind him. That is a lot, and he knows how to manage race pace as he showed in Singapore in 2023, and he can be the catalyst. He can be the final piece of the puzzle where Williams is a title contender once again. And I think Max Verstappen has been watching old clips of a United stand where Andy Tate says, second half of the season, we're doing a title charge. I think he's been watching that and he's been thinking.
Stratford Paddock, not United stand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, I think he's been watching those videos on repeat. I think he's been listening to the earphones on repeat, 100% volume, thinking second half of the season we're doing a title charge, because if anyone could do it, is him. I've repeated myself too many times, and we've been getting onto off-topic debates about who's the greatest Formula One driver of all time. But I think if anyone could do it in this current machinery, this current peak powers, he's gonna turn 28 this year. Later this year in 2 months. No, actually at the end of this month. But he's at the peak of his powers, and if anyone could do it, it's him. If anyone can set up a car to win at these races, dominate at these tracks, and try to eke out every bit of performance that car has to offer, he can do that.
Second half of the season, we're doing a title charge. You know what I mean? That's Max Verstappen, as Rand said.
Yeah.
That could be Max Verstappen. You know, we don't know for sure. It depends on Singapore. And one stat to say, Max has never won a race in Singapore in his life.
Yep.
He's never
That's
won.
the only track in the current calendar. He has never won it.
He finished 10th last time out, didn't he? He finished 10th last time out, I swear. Oh no, sorry, not 10th. But the 2 years ago,
he finished second. He finished second, but Lando Norris in front of him finished 30 seconds ahead.
2023. The year Carlos Sainz, he finished where again? Fifth. See the struggles in Singapore. You know what it is? Singapore is one of those tracks where it's hard to overtake as well. It's one of those typical
street circuits, really tight.
The irony, because Red Bull are historically good in Monaco. But Ekevin, the irony is Red Bull are historically good at Monaco, but they're shit at Singapore. It's funny, the irony. But I think he can do it, Ekevin, because what did he do at Baku this time? But Ekevin, what did he do this week in Baku? He got his first pole at Baku, a track that he's not been as good at. And then now he can get his first in Singapore.
I mean, he's never won at Singapore before. I don't think he's got pole position at Singapore before. But if there's anything that can motivate him, it would be this. If this could be like the momentum where he's got the momentum and he just keeps on spiraling, and where he gets into Abu Dhabi and he's a title contender still, this could be the swinging point where he's like, well, I'm not going to repeat. Akavin did a much better impression of Andy Tate, but I think he can work wonders in the RB21. And obviously, there's 3 sprint races as well, and obviously there's other opportunities for McLaren to DNF again. Piastri's not perfect. I never thought he was perfect at the start of the year. I did not think he was perfect. Everyone was saying on Reddit and all the forums on YouTube, everything, that he's perfect, that he's stoic. I've never seen a world champion so composed. But obviously, when push comes to shove, the world champion contenders, they snap. And they have moments of where the head is red hot and they make mistakes. And Piastri was that yesterday. He was trying to turn the car, and obviously the wheels going in opposite direction. He just goes straight on into Barry and crashes. That's his race done. And Norris, I don't think there's anything he can do more than that. I think Tsunoda defended incredibly well, and the DRS train obviously hindered Norris as well. So Norris only gained a 6-point swing yesterday on Piastri. Now he's on 299 points. Verstappen's on 255 points, and Oscar Piastri's on 324 points. But Piastri, there was nearly 100 points. There was nearly 100-point gap between Piastri and Verstappen a couple of races ago, and now it's 69 points. Obviously, that goes to show that anything can happen in the sport, and McLaren can DNF, maybe not because of driver errors, because of pit stop errors, or the Mercedes machinery might fail again. Who knows?
I completely agree with you. I hope you guys discuss this on your next football show, Ekevin, because Pedri is 11th in the Ballon d'Or. That's a disgrace.
What time will we find out the winner?
I think
8 p.m. BST. So your guys will be 2 a.m.
Okay. Cool.
If you guys want to watch some football analysis, tune in right after this, because Ekevin and this guy will be talking football.
Going live in just about in a bit, people. So King, and you guys do your final takeaways from this weekend, and then we'll wrap up. Your biggest takeaways from this weekend.
Biggest takeaways of this weekend that Piastri can break. I knew that before. It was semi-confirmed at Silverstone when he did the little antics with the restarting of the race, and it was confirmed again it was confirmed 100% to me yesterday. It was confirmed 50% to the people on Reddit, 100% to me. I always knew he'd crack.
Actually, let's answer this question real quick, and I'll ask everyone else. Don't answer this yet, as we'll go off topic. As you asked time ago. But if you guys had to support a team and then didn't have favorite racers, which would it be? I don't know what you mean by had to support a team and didn't have favorite racers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
But I'm a Ferrari fan.
Basically, I think he means if you could support a team but they didn't have the drivers you liked, what team would you support?
They didn't have the drivers that you liked.
So your favorite, you're just Ferrari. You're not like
Ferrari.
You're not a player FC.
I don't care who. I'm Ferrari all the way. I'm Ferrari. So
I don't even support a team, to be honest.
He's a
I don't either.
But if you had to support a team, who would you support? If you had to support one,
based on current achievements in 2025 on Monday, 22nd of September 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, whatever.
Very specific.
Anything.
Thank you for that.
No, I wouldn't support a team. So basically, is this one of those scenarios you have to pick a team or you get shot? That's a scenario.
Yep. Gun to the head, man. I'm pointing it.
Red Bull.
Okay. That's fair.
You want some wings, right?
King?
Yeah.
Williams or Racing Bulls.
But King, it has one of your Racing Bulls has one of your favorite drivers in Hadjar, so technically doesn't count.
And that Bomb Lawson.
Oh, fair enough. Then Williams.
Yeah, Williams is fair. Gustia?
I was going to say the same. You asked me what my takeaway is this weekend. It was McDonald's. Thank you for that, Ekavin.
No,
but
I knew this guy's answer, by the way. Just saying. I knew the moment I asked that question.
I couldn't resist. I have to advertise McDonald's, man. They pay me so much. But I will stick with Williams as well. I just love the project. I love James Vowell's philosophy, and I think they are projected for success.
I agree with this.
And I agree with that too.
But yeah. I'm Ferrari, Ranveer's Red Bull, King is Williams, Auguste is Williams as well.
Yeah. Okay. But also the Red Bull story, when they came along, people just thought of them as a fizzy drink company, and they became 6-time constructors champions of the world. That's a sporting story for the ages, that is.
King?
Yeah.
Takeaway from this weekend?
Takeaway from this weekend. What is the takeaway?
Chinese? Thai?
Indian?
No. I'm an Italian man myself, but in terms of
yes, bro.
Takeaway though.
Hey, listen, nothing beats a pizza and ice cream.
100%, bro. I agree.
Gelato.
I think the biggest takeaway from this event is that that I do agree, Random Man. Oscar can be tarnished. He's due a mistake in him. Lando didn't do enough to capitalize on that mistake. Ferraris are not there. The Mercedes are really good. I would say that the Mercedes had a good weekend. Congrats to Racing Bulls, double points for them. And if Albon had a better quali, I think we would have seen we could have seen a double podium from Williams. That's my takeaway, I think, as well. And then the final thing, Supermax. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Augustia?
The Max Verstappen. I agree with King. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, I echo you. I echo what you said. I mean, Max Verstappen, if he keeps this up from now to the end of the season, if he wins his first ever race in Singapore,
I don't think he will. I don't think it suits his car.
Let's say big if, yeah. Let's say big if, yeah. Is this the World Drivers' Championship back on? serious question, guys. Is
Yes.
it back if he wins the World Drivers' if he wins Singapore, is the championship back on for Verstappen? It
100%.
has to surely be, right?
Because last season, remember, Norris finished first. He donked 30 seconds on the Verstappen behind him, and Verstappen and Red Bull said, "I could not get anywhere near him." And I think if he wins that in Singapore, that is a serious scenario where he's the Kimi Raikkonen situation in 2007, where the two McLarens, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, are battling it out, and Raikkonen comes and swoops and takes all the points in the final race.
And that's it, people. I guess.
Are you guys gonna talk about the Ballon d'Or and the PL show?
I think so. Yeah, we'll talk about the Ballon d'Or, yes, in the Premier League show. Yeah, we'll give like a quick thought because we have to do a Premier League review, so it'll take some time. I could win Singapore on my feet against Max. Big up to you, Twisted Fate.
I love the boldness there, man.
A lot of ifs now. Yeah, it has to be if buts or maybes now because this is
Absolute
pinnacle of the season. Like, how many races do we have left? Like 6-7 races left.
7. 3 sprints, I think.
Yeah, actually, Rand the fan, you made the very most pivotal point. Sprint races. Max can make up there as well. He does not need Oscar Piastri to DNF anymore.
Yep.
I think the DNF
Remember, he
is
won in Spa.
Yeah, so Max can easily.
Yep.
Yeah, so Max can easily win it. It's all the ball is in his hands. It's just whether the team give him the machinery. That's it. Give him the car. The man will win.
The ball's in his court.
Yeah, and I think Lauren Mackey's. I think he's not as stubborn as Horner when it comes to race setups. He let Verstappen take his own race setup in Monza. So I think that if Verstappen sticks to his guns, his own impression of what a circuit is like, the sensitivities, everything, like weather changes, grip levels, everything. I think if he does that, he will be the 2025 Formula 1 World Drivers Champion.
Ekevin, what's up?
So funny, bro.
Sorry, people.
Ekevin, what's going on?
Something Agustia just said just now, it just doesn't make sense. But
you're welcome.
But yeah, honestly, Yamal should not be in the Ballon d'Or discussion. Honestly,
if Lamine Yamal wins a Ballon d'Or, yeah, fucking scrap the whole lot.
Guys, the fact that Pedri is 11th and Yamal will be top 3 is an indictment on football.
Pedri is one of the best arguably one of the, or if not the best midfielder in the world.
He's the best player in Barcelona. I'll tell you that for free.
I think
he's Lewandowski.
I'd say Rafinha.
Today still
Lewandowski.
Rafinha has been really good.
I think
stop heading against young boys. Lewandowski delivers on the big stage in El Clasico and Atletico Madrid, bro.
Nah. Rafinha last year was really good, especially in that Inter Milan game. They needed Rafinha. Rafinha scored, and the Barca thought they were in the final.
I think that Pedri complete. You know what Pedri reminds me of? It's kind of that Vincent Del Bosque quote, except not on Busquets, but Pedri. If you watch Pedri, you understand the game. If you don't watch Pedri, you won't notice him.
Yeah, because do you see Jack Grealish posted a story the other day? He said Pedri and De Jong are joy to watch.
And Paul Scholes followed that up as well, saying he's my favorite player in the world now.
Yeah, but isn't this a precedent for how footballers become? Because Pedri 11th in the Ballon d'Or rankings, Van Dijk 29th. I don't think he's anywhere near the top 50. And you got the sporting competitions are just they've actually become dull now because you got these mid-world championship battle in Formula 1. You got tennis, you got dopers in tennis, you got dopers in swimming. So I think that this is just a precedent for the sporting world we live in. And if there's any governing bodies watching out there, like Football Association, Basketball England, just hire me because I will say things how they are.
But yeah,
thoughts on McTominay being ahead of João Neves, Lautaro Martinez?
McTominay is not ahead of João Neves.
He is. He's also ahead of Fabian Ruiz as well.
Then I'm sorry, that's a disgrace.
McAllister 22nd. What?
He's ahead of Erling Haaland, but that was to be expected.
Yeah, he won the Premier League. Should be ahead of Haaland. Haaland didn't win anything this season.
But should be based on individual merit, not the trophies that you won.
Nah, but trophies also play a huge part in what you do in the season.
But it shouldn't.
I think it's ability, but your impact to your trophies. It's not the trophies, it's the impact to your trophies. Otherwise, we have a case of Jorginho all over again.
But it's more popular.
Jorginho won the
Jorginho.
UEFA Ben's Best Player award.
Jorginho should never have been third. He should
Yes,
No.
He was
No,
No,
I
he won the
understand.
UEFA Men's Best Player award. He won it.
yeah.
That's
Big
but
that's
Jorginho.
basically like the equivalent to
Respect.
Ballon d'Or. That's basically a Ballon
No.
d'Or.
Let me clarify. 100% should have been top 5. I don't have any doubt in my mind. I'm just saying, just because you won the trophies does not mean you were the best player and best performer in that campaign. That's my point.
Exactly.
Maybe he's not the best.
Kante should have been higher than him, to be honest. But it's
Yeah.
what it is.
That's what I mean. So two things: it's your ability, but also your impact to your accomplishments. Keyword: impact to your accomplishments.
If it's a 30-lap race,
Apparently,
Max starts on lap 1. Go on, Twisted Fate. You can beat him, bro. Big up to you.
there's only one person in the world who knows a Ballon d'Or winner. He's the editor of I think there's a French football magazine. He's the only one who knows the name because
Then you better
he's
not
only apparently.
But
you better
guys, I don't want to make any conspiracies
No
or
spoilers.
allegations.
no rumors, no speculation, nothing. We just need to watch.
He
the
knows.
Ballon d'Or.
He knows.
Shit. Sorry, bro. Go on.
Yeah, Kevin and I know. We've already seen the envelope. We're just not telling you guys, right?
Ron,
We've already.
we already seen
Who won the Ballon d'Or?
Wait. McTominay's 18th.
That's what I was just saying. He's above Fabian Ruiz.
Bro, how is João Neves not? What?
Did
Why
you
is
hear
he in
about
there?
the trophy? The trophy theory.
No,
But
João
Basically,
Nations League. Yes, I know Nations League doesn't mean jack shit, but bro, he won. He won with his nation, and he won the quadruple with PSG.
What are we doing here? Why is McTominay
Super
18th?
Cup doesn't sound as this season.
Yeah, why is McTominay there? Why, bro? McTominay just won the fucking league.
No,
with-
guys. Real
He
quick,
won
Random,
Serie A
Random,
player of the season as well.
What?
But I'll tell you who I think won. I think Dembele won because why would Nasser go to the Ballon d'Or over Marseille PSG?
yes, but
Like
PSG
logically speaking,
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest games in France, the Derby de la Classique.
is
But
the
PSG
biggest game
announced
in France by
themselves.
far.
But PSG announced themselves that they weren't going to the Ballon d'Or. The team wasn't going. They postponed last night's match just to purposely play it during the Ballon d'Or ceremony. They weren't going to
No,
go.
but yesterday was cancelled because of weather. But
Surely they were. They were 100% going to go. Enrique's winning best manager. Dembele's
the
probably winning.
IFFH, yes,
They're
coach,
not
best
going.
coach,
They're not
coach
going.
as well.
They're not going to it
Then why would Nasser go then today if his team was not going to go?
because the players are not going. The owner might go. But do you know what it is?
Isn't Dembele injured? So isn't he going to be there?
Yeah, Dembele is injured, so he might go. But the thing is, though, King, let me say this as well. Yeah, actually, most of the Ballon d'Or ceremonies in the past, the France football Ballon d'Ors. When I watched Ronaldo win his 2 Ballon d'Ors, they actually filmed the Ballon d'Or interview and they filmed the presentation prior to the ceremony.
Yeah, that's one going on.
Maybe they've already filmed it with Dembele. Maybe
No, they haven't. They announced this year they didn't do that apparently.
Yeah.
So maybe he might be there and go and pick it up. But even then that's just.
I mean, I do have. Lamine Yamal is a fantastic player.
But for Luis Enrique's case, he might have already, got it because there's some players who have won awards in the past that have had to film their interview and say that they couldn't make it to the awards and they've already got their awards. But that's just my point. But last point, guys, I need to go to show it, Josh, now. So last point.
Yeah, apparently there was a trophy leak here. You know how it says the first letter of the first player's name? It said K. apparently.
Yes, he's injured.
K. Mbappe. I don't believe that. Apparently Rafinha got leaked as a winner. Yamal got leaked as a winner. I haven't heard any theories about Dembele being
the head coach of Egypt posted an image of Salah winning the Ballon d'Or.
And Cristiano
He did?
as well.
Yeah.
That's
So
hope.
Salah
That's hope.
also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Fabrizio Romano, some of you may have heard of him. He did say that the winner is a shock, or I could be just playing tricks in my mind.
If the winner's Salah, the sport's done.
No, I think if Salah won it, while I don't agree with it, there is a case for him to win. I think there is a case.
Well, to be honest,
case.
yeah.
There's no
To
case.
be honest, yeah, I have a lot of African friends here. I said to him, "Why do you support Salah?" They said he's not African. What?
That's like the Indian Asian argument. Most people don't consider Indians Asians.
They said you have to be black to be African. Well, he's from Africa. Support him. No wonder he's got 60 million followers. He got more followers than Mbappe, Haaland, all these guys.
Why don't they consider us Asians?
I don't know. I think both Renvir, you can attest to the stigma, right? Many people don't associate Indians as Asians. It's really strange.
Here,
It's an American thing because when they say
South
Asians,
Asian,
they mean the Chinese Asian,
Yeah.
Chinese, Japanese.
Like you
When they
guys
say
are
Indian, they
Chinese.
mean Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh. Because
Yeah,
they
they
just
mean
group
brown.
people up.
Oh,
Yeah, they mean brown. So when they say Indian, they say brown. When they say Asian, they mean the people over there, southeast.
Brown one
I
there.
need to control myself. I was gonna make a joke. I'm not going to.
No, I was thinking of jokes myself. I wasn't gonna.
We're gonna get this channel canceled.
No, I'm not doing it.
No,
I'm not doing it.
I am not doing it either, bro.
King, go ahead, bro.
Brother, I am not making these jokes either.
No.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Ranveer.
I'm not making those ones.
Brown one there. Brown one there.
Okay.
Is it?
But it's like Middle Eastern, and
Yeah,
Middle
again,
East
these
is
two
also
guys-
Asians, but they just they're different as well.
Yeah, because Kazakhstani people, for example, they're Asian and European. Turkish people, they're Asian and European. So
Yeah.
Egyptian people, they're Middle Eastern and African. So
Yeah, subcontinent. That's what they do.
Yeah, Egyptians are African. That's all they are.
exactly.
Big up to Jacques. Jack will be on as
Big up
well.
Jacques.
I'm not trying to take the piss, but there's a small part of Egypt that's in Asia, the Sinai Peninsula.
Yo,
Well,
don't control.
If they don't
your
claim Egypt, if they don't claim Egyptian people as African, they definitely won't claim them as Asian.
Yeah.
It's near the, but it's not. It's in Africa. But anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here because I do have to go to the next show. I'll be back in 5 minutes, so you guys stay tuned. Literally click on the next show. Augustia, Ranveer, appreciate you guys being here. King, links in the links in the description of the video. King has Ballon d'Or ceremony and anything else after that? Do you have anything else after the PSG Marseille game that you're watching? Anything any other live stream?
NFL.
Okay, NFL Monday Night Football. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it
cool.
live streamed, the ceremony?
Yeah, live stream. Yes, live stream.
What do you
yes.
watch?
It should be on YouTube. But I'm
He's
trying to
watching
find.
both. He's watching both. Big up,
All
bro.
right.
Big up Twisted Fate. Big up to you, bro.
Big up
Jack.
Big up Twisted Fate.
Big
Big
up
up
Jack.
Charles Halsey.
But,
Big
yeah,
up
big up,
Big up Joshua. Big up Monkey D. Luffy.
big up to Jay Jones as well. Big up to GK.
Big up Jay Jones.
Big up Bossa Blue, Rajat.
Big up
everyone-
Rasta Stocks.
Yeah, Rasta as well. Big up to you, man, in the
Big up
chat.
Mike's.
Yeah, big up to Mike as well, who
Big
redirected.
up AN Sports.
Yes, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Big
Appreciate
up
you.
Max Verstappen.
And big up Max.
Big
Big
up
up
Hadja the Badger.
And big up Oscar Piastri as well. We're out.
Big up Liam Lawson.
Big up
Big
Lakers
up
in
Nottingham.
5.
Big up
Big up stuff.
Beckham.
Anyways,
Lakers in 5.
oh fuck off! I'm ruining this guy from stream right away. Right
Big
now.
up Amarim Era.
Big up
Cancel
France
football.
football.
Can't hate the truth.
Fuck France football. We're out.
Big up Fraud Rizio.
Yes. Big up Carlos. Yes, big up Carlos Sainz as well. Yes, big up Carlos Sainz. Yeah.
And big up James Vowles.
Take
Big
care,
up the
people.
Tifosi.
The next show, people. I'm redirecting you guys. I can't redirect you guys like that, but I'm telling you guys, click on the next show. We'll be back.
Big up